Good morning, my name is Megan Howard. I'm an Assistant Chief with the Houston Police Department. I have with me here Commander Robert Cantu with the Northeast Patrol Division. We're here today because there was an officer-involved shooting, and what I'll provide now are some preliminary details as we know them right now. Again, this is early information, early in the investigation, so I'll share what we can, and much will remain to follow with the investigation. Officers were dispatched to a family disturbance with a weapon at about 6:30 this morning in the 1000 block of Kress. Information in the call slip indicated that there was a male who was threatening family members with a gun. Officers arrived. The location was fenced off. They couldn't really approach the house. They were able to make contact with what we found out to be teenagers who had secured themselves back in some bedrooms in the house. They explained that this male was making threatening comments. They had seen him with a gun. They knew him to have guns. Also that he was on some sort of substance and he was behaving erratically. One of the officers was able to convince them to get out of the house. They escaped through the bedroom window and were able to get to safety after hopping a fence. So the officers did an excellent job with communication there. They continue to attempt to establish communication with the male. He comes out of the house with a weapon, with a pistol in his hand. They call it out to the other officers, recognizing that he's armed, the dangers, the tactical disadvantage that they had, and they attempted just to communicate from positions of safety. He retreated inside, and for about an hour, they're trying to establish good communication with him. He comes back out, and He comes back out, without a firearm, but he's just in the driveway, the gate's secured, there's no way for them to get closer to apprehend him. And this goes on for a significant period of time, him going inside, coming back out. Officer did an excellent job trying to de-escalate using active listening skills. And eventually it's clear that they're just not getting anywhere. He's making some threatening comments. He's agitated by the fact that officers have their weapons out, but of course he's already produced a weapon, so they had every reason to have their firearms out. He then goes back inside. One of the officers, recognizing what we had a supervisor on scene, they realized that they need to request additional resources. At about this time, this is about an hour and change into the scene, they've done everything that they think that they can. They then request some additional assistance from SWAT and the hostage negotiators. So while those extra resources are being spun up, the suspect then comes back out with a firearm. He manipulates the firearm, raises it. We believe the suspect shoots. Officers return fire. So there's a single exchange of gunfire, multiple rounds from a total of 3 officers on scene. Suspect then retreats back inside. Officers do a good job checking on everyone, making sure that everybody's okay, nobody's been harmed. They continue to attempt to communicate with them. The male then comes back out, this time appears to be unarmed, and they continue communicating with him. Again, he's on the other side of a tall locked fence, and there's just no way to get him into custody. He is behaving erratically, making statements that are just not productive. Officers continue to negotiate, attempt to get him to surrender. SWAT team and hostage negotiators arrive at the scene. They end up taking over primary control of operations, and negotiators were able to maintain his interest long enough for SWAT officers to then make an approach and take him into custody. There was no further issue once he was taken into custody. The male suspect, he does not have any injuries. He'll be booked on charges to be determined, likely aggravated assault on a peace officer. And right now we have on scene our homicide division's investigators. They are reviewing all the evidence. We have the Forensic Science Center is collecting the evidence, processing the scene. Down the road, there will be an investigation through the Harris County District Attorney's Office. They will have their parallel investigation. As with all officer-involved shootings, it will be presented to a grand jury to make a determine whether the shooting was justified. So there will be both parallel criminal investigations as well as our Internal Affairs Division, which will conduct the internal administrative investigation. As always, within 30 days, we will release body-worn camera footage from the officers who were involved, and you'll have a chance to see for yourself how things unfolded. We are very grateful that the teenagers who were inside of the house were unharmed, and they are now safe. So that's where we stand right now. Investigators are still on scene. They've conducted some preliminary interviews, but they'll get some additional statements down at headquarters later on. So at this time, I'll answer any questions.
So I guess what you mentioned when he came out to the yard and raised the gun and fired, and was that the only exchange during this whole couple down? And was he hurt at all, or did he actually shoot towards the direction of the police?
Sure. First question is whether there were multiple exchanges of gunfire. There's just one exchange of gunfire, and so that happened during a relatively brief period of time after officers had already been on scene well over an hour. The second question, was he injured? He was not injured. No officers, nor the suspect, nor were any of the teenagers who were in the house injured. Everyone is safe and okay.
I guess the other question was that you mentioned that he might have been on some sort of substance, and also just from what I saw earlier when we were talking to him, he did seem to be acting erratic. Did the family know why or what he was taking that made him act that way?
So that'll be a part of the investigation. I don't want to get out ahead of it. I didn't speak to the witnesses themselves. It does sound like there is some sort of history, and this is a known behavior pattern for him.
Chief, is there anything additional you can provide about the suspect, whether or not he's got any kind of criminal history? Have you handled him in the past or anything of that nature?
So that'll be part of the investigation. I do not have that detail right now regarding his criminal history or calls at this location. That will certainly be a part of the investigation.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it.